Hey everybody, it's Georgia Farming Flu Vlog. Check out the flower on this dwarf Namwa. She's a beauty. The first leaf, or the petal, has already opened up there at the very top. Trying to see, doesn't look like there's any hands under that one. That's just the very first one. But this next one, once it opens up, there should start to be some hands on the banana. I think this is gonna be a huge flower once it opens up. At least, you can start counting in here. There's at least around 10 different petals there. And if each of those has a hand underneath, we're looking at potentially over 100 bananas. If we take a step back, here's the full size for reference. That's my dog. It ended up flowering around 10 feet or so. So I'm 6 feet tall. My reach is a little under 8, and that's about 10 feet up to right around where the flower came out. This is the dwarf Namwa that I kept alive in the greenhouse over the winter. So it was probably about 4 to 5 feet tall when at the beginning of the winter. It didn't really grow much over the winter. And then I started, the beginning of this spring with taking it out of the greenhouse. It was around 6 feet, 5 to 6 feet tall. And so we've gotten about 4 feet of growth this summer. And then it just recently flowered here a couple days ago, right at the very beginning of August. So this is really exciting. One thing that I've kind of been watching is, see if you can tell here, there's some ants crawling up this. And I think this is pretty typical. I don't see anything too crazy around the base, but I want to be very careful here that this bunch of bananas, once they start getting more ripe, that we don't have any issues with ants or anything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and spray it down with some dish soap. So I'm just using Dawn dish soap and then put it in this sprayer bottle. And what this does is this just hooks up to a hose, and then you can put a little dial right here. I'm gonna put it on the highest setting. And basically what it'll do is just mix them together, and it's gonna spray this soapy mixture out onto the banana plant. And what this does is, it basically is a organic way to kill off the ants. I think it actually just like suffocates them, and then it'll prevent more from coming. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick before the bananas start showing, so nothing gets on those. And then it'll just rinse off the next time it rains. But hopefully it'll take care of all the little ones. Just as a precautionary measure, I just wanna make sure we don't do anything or leave anything to chance here. Make sure we actually get to eat these bananas. As I mentioned, I do have a bag that I'm gonna put over these, similar to they do in the tropical regions, to make sure we don't have any bugs or squirrels or anything like that come after those. But we'll wait until they open up and then do a little trimming and pruning and then do that. So let's just go ahead and start spraying. I've got this set on the highest setting. So if you start over here, it's gonna mix like 1 teaspoon for, I think it's like for every gallon of water that comes through. It doesn't really matter the specific amount, but I'm gonna go ahead and just move it all the way over here to the max amount, just so we get really soapy, because the soap's what's gonna kill them. And then I've got it hooked up to the hose. We're just gonna spray it down. So you can see it's very, very bubbly. It's very satisfying. We're gonna make sure we get it all over. And on the back side too. All right, that's looking pretty good. We got it completely covered. Any ants that get caught up in this are just gonna be suffocated and die, so we shouldn't have any more ant problems after this. I'm gonna go ahead and do my other bananas while I'm at it. had some ant problems all around here. Nothing too bad, but you know, just while we're having it, might as well go ahead and hit them. I'm gonna switch off the camera now. We're looking good. Everything's nice and soapy. There will be no ants surviving this. And of course, it doesn't really matter that we got on the flower. It's just soap, it's gonna wash off. As well as the fruit is actually, you know, it's inside of a banana peel. So there's no reason to believe anything's gonna cause any harm. I'm gonna continue posting some update videos here this next week or two as it starts opening up. Make sure you watch out for any shorts that I post. I've been posting those just to get more often updates without having to film an actual video. So I have one that I posted the other day, but just keep looking out for that. And then just a quick other, you know, update on the other ones. Here's the Venti Colehull. It's really starting to take off. It's now over 6 feet tall, growing super fast. I think this is going to be a fantastic banana moving forward for the next couple of years once it gets a little more mature. So probably let this one die out this winter, but the new pup that comes out very beginning of next year, I think we'll have a good chance at fruiting. Here's the double Mahoy, also a dwarf Cavendish for the most part. It's doing really well. This is right around the height where it fruited last year. So the next generation might be a little taller, but we're pretty close. I don't think, you know, at this point, we're not close enough to actually have ripened fruit. But what is interesting about this one is it flowered last year and it was just a single flower. Whereas every other year, this is supposedly has a chance of having a double flower and double fruit. So that would be cool just to see that happen. You know, I don't care if it ripens or not, but maybe we can get a double flower and just, you know, see what that looks like. So I'm very excited just to, you know, and we'll definitely see this flower this year. You know, unless it just ends up growing twice as big, because it's already as tall as it fruited last year and it's growing super fast. So this is gonna be really fun one to watch. And then this is the Truly Tiny, and it is not that tiny anymore. This is amazing. It definitely could have done a lot better if I moved out of this pot, but I'm just gonna keep it here, just see what happens, because this is more of an ornamental, you know, even if it ever fruits, you're not gonna be able to eat it, so it's not that big of a deal for me. But it's still growing, doing really well, so I'm excited about it. Thanks everybody for watching. This is gonna be really exciting. I went back and looked at the weather we had last year, as well as the double Mahoy that fruited last year, and it really didn't start getting cold here until the very end of October. So we have at least another 2 good months of weather here for the dwarf Namwa to actually fruit, open up and ripen and be able to eat. So I'm very optimistic. And the thing is, as long as we can get them to fully kind of plump up and fill out, then we can ripen them indoors in terms of like turning from green to yellow. You can either cut the whole tree down, turn it upside down, and let kind of all the sugars and everything run to the bananas, or you can just cut off the actual bunch of bananas itself if it's like super close. So we have a lot of options. I don't think there's any reason other than some sort of animal or creature stealing them that we're not gonna actually get to eat them this year. Very exciting. Remember to watch out, you know, a lot of these updates for the next couple of days, I'm gonna try to do more shorts. So watch out for those. And then I'll try and post at least a longer video once it starts opening up and get a better look at that. See ya.